What's up, everybody? It's Sid and Millie back with another episode. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are frustrated, to say the least, but we'll be chatting about Manchester United's first Premier League game of the season against Hull City, which ended in a 2-0 loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, what happened, Millie?
A lot of things happened.
Yeah.
It's obviously just not the result that we expected, not the performance that we wanted or expected, maybe not even the lineup that we wanted or expected. Um, the two set piece goals to concede two set piece goals is just unacceptable.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like that's been kind of a long-term struggle and like a long-term thing from your perspective too. We see it all the time. I feel like with the set pieces of like that frustration.
Yeah,
when they give up a
100%.
goal.
Again, there has to be a willingness that someone is going to get their head on the ball. There has to be that. I know Maguire is going to get win headers for us, but Maguire cannot be the only person who is committed to winning balls in the air. It's
Right.
not enough. We need 11 guys who are willing to put their body on the line to clear the ball out of the box. It's literally unacceptable. So unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Facts.
It's like, yes, the second goal, that is a phenomenal set piece. Nonetheless, you have to clear the ball. You have to be willing to put your body on the line. Take that header. Yes, you will be dazed for a second, but you would have just prevented a goal. Does the badge not mean enough to fucking get dazed for a second? I just don't understand. It's just half-assed defensive actions on very, very important set pieces.
Yeah.
And it's unacceptable, especially in the first game of the Premier League. We spoke about it yesterday in our pre-build-up for the Premier League. We spoke about setting the tone. This was not the tone at all. This was not the tone.
No, absolutely not. This is not what we meant by that.
Man.
Go watch our video from yesterday to hear more about our kind of speculation for the season
it just,
and the
it
game.
It just wasn't it. It just wasn't it. I called it when against the AC Milan game. I said it then, and I will say it again. Bruno, Tielemans, Santos will not work. That is not our midfield three. It will not work. We cannot have two sort of luxury midfielders kind of hanging around, unwilling to do very important defensive actions. I literally love Bruno Fernandes to death. What is going on with Bruno Fernandes? What is going on with my guy?
What is going on?
I don't understand it.
He's like very lackluster recently.
So lackadaisical.
Yeah.
Defensively, going forward, in the tackle. It's like he doesn't give a shit right now. I don't understand it.
I know. He's usually our most reliable player, right?
And the most determined player on the field on both sides of the ball. When we don't have the ball, Bruno is usually a rabid dog trying to get us the ball back. Where is that Bruno? Bring him back. It's like certain people have gone to the World Cup and lost who they are.
Yeah.
This is not the Bruno that left Manchester United at the end of last season.
No, not at all.
So we need him to get to the paces. Otherwise, we have to make hard decisions. The Premier League has started. This is not preseason.
Yeah.
Our rivals are already sweeping teams away. Arsenal, 3-0 win already in the first game of the Premier League. Against a team that they should be beating. Just like today, we're playing against a team we should be beating. We've not lost to a newly relegated side in the first game of the Premier League in like decades. It shouldn't be happening.
No.
We should be setting the tone. Hey, this is what the Premier League is like. That's what it should have been like. And that energy just isn't there again. And we called for it after AC Milan. They have to bring more intensity. Where is the intensity?
I know, genuinely.
I'm baffled. I'm at a loss for words by that performance.
I know.
And again, yes, you can say we had most of the ball. Yes, we had 70-something% of possession.
I know. But what do you say? Possession, or the game isn't won in
possession stat. It doesn't matter. You can keep the ball. It doesn't matter. You got to put the thing in the back of the net.
Facts. If you're going to be holding on to it for that long, do something with it.
Yeah.
Do literally anything.
It's like the shots that we had, the shots from distance, meager. meager.
Even just like,
I mean, not even threatening the goalkeeper. Brian had the one good chance off the ball from Cunha, decent. Rashford put some brilliant balls on a plate for Šeško. The headers weren't there today. I just don't know what is going on. Where is our dagger? Where's the sword? Where is our attack? It's like, I'm sorry. Again, love him to death. Dorgu is a left back. He is a left back, a left-footed defender. Patrick Dorgu. I'm sorry. No more left mid for Dorgu. The vacation is over. He was a wing back under our previous manager. Fine. He is a left back. Case closed. We've seen enough. The difference between Rashford in the second half and Dorgu in the first half was night and day for our attack. I'm sorry, it's done. The experiment is done. Dorgu is now left back up to Luke Shaw, and competition for Luke Shaw. We've got to be realistic here. We've got to look at these guys objectively. He had a good preseason, good. He is a good player, has a phenomenal future. He's a young lad. He can develop into the left back role. Point blank period. We cannot waste any more time in these matches. Preseason is done.
Yeah.
These games matter. Cunha, Rashford, Membo, they were switching, flipping, moving everywhere, causing issues for the defense. That was what we needed from the first whistle. That was what we needed.
Facts.
Cunha, at moments in the second half, was able to pick up the ball in dangerous positions. But again, there wasn't enough of it because of how slow we were in the build-up. I'm sorry, Tielemans, Bruno, we cannot have both of you trying to be the key playmaker. It is not working. It's too many giveaways, too many of these high-risk passes through the midfield that are getting cut out. And again, we called it out. Playing against a three-back system is a struggle for us right now.
Yeah.
We called it against AC Milan, and we're seeing the exact thing happen again. A similar but different three-back system or five-back system, or however you want to call it, causes us issues.
Yeah.
And we have not solved for that yet. And the Premier League has started. We were supposed to take lessons.
I know. That's the whole point of the preseason, right? To learn and grow from the things that went wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we saw literally the exact same performance from AC Milan.
It just wasn't enough. We didn't even push their back line and stretch their back line again until Rashford came onto the field. When he came on, made that first run in behind, all of a sudden their back four was like, oh, or their back three was like, oh shit, they can run in behind us. We had played in front of them the entire game.
Yeah.
And we have more athletic lads in Brian and Membo. I have no clue what happened to Ahmad. I don't know if he was there. I don't know if he got injured. I don't know. The game was at 7:30 a.m. for us. So please give us some slack for not knowing exactly what happened. I'm not sure if they said something about Ahmad's absence. But again, we needed that pace. We needed to stretch their back three and put them in uncomfortable positions. And we could have done that with Brian, with Cunha in the first half, stretching them, getting those wide positions, even with Dorgu, with his pace. We have to try and run in behind. We have to try and stretch back lines and make them uncomfortable. I understand the possession. I understand the build. I can see the purpose. I get it. But at times, you have to be more direct when a team is willing to sit behind the ball and defend. We have to do more to pull and push teams out of their defensive shapes. And we weren't doing enough of that for the entirety of the first half. After giving up two soft goals.
Yeah.
And this is the importance of set pieces in the Premier League. You cannot take anything for granted.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Man.
Yeah. Well, what did you think about the subs that came on in the second half?
I mean, again, like I've mentioned, Rashford immediately improved our attack. His first run was positive, engaging defenders, draws a foul. Second run, engaging, we get a corner kick. That is what we need from a left midfielder. We need someone who wants to run forward, wants to run at people, wants to challenge their outside back, beat them on the dribble, beat them for pace, get balls into the box. Combined with Luke Shaw, he did all of that. Not only was he combining with Luke Shaw, getting to the end line himself, getting crosses in himself, but he was also looking for the early crosses as soon as Sheshko got subbed on, which was again recognizing the tools that were at our disposal. He said, oh, we brought on our giant forward. Okay, I'm going to whip in some crosses now. And that is the sort of recognition we need from attacking players.
Facts.
And then Rashford, although he started on the left, went up top into the 9 position and was then the first person making runs in behind and stretching their back line and immediately asking different questions of their defensive shape. So I think Rashford has to start in our next match.
Yeah.
Based on this performance, no brainer for me, has to start. Again, Cunha, in moments, the ball from into Brian, it was brilliant. We know what he can do when he picks up the ball in those withdrawn positions. Again, with Rashford on the field, it allows for Cunha to have the freedom to pick up the ball in different areas of the pitch. We didn't see Cunha on the ball in the first half. But again, once Rashford came on the field, it allowed Cunha more freedom because Rashford was often drawing 2 defenders towards him because they were so worried about him on the dribble with his pace. That is what we need.
Facts.
Draw defenders away to open up other guys, which then allowed us to start actually creating more attacks because of them being more worried about our threats. So the immediate change with Rashford, brilliant change. It immediately made us more dangerous. Mainoo. Mainoo has to start. We know what Mainoo is capable of. We know the sort of midfielder he is. I honestly appreciate Tielemans. I appreciate what he brings to our team. I appreciate the element of our midfield that he can bring to our team and help us in immense games, Champions League, etc. Absolutely. Here's the thing. We are net above Aston Villa. Kobbie Mainoo is a starter for Manchester United. He was all of the second half of last season. We know what he brings to our squad. There is no reason Tielemans is starting over Kobbie Mainoo. I'm sorry. He hasn't earned it yet. He hasn't fought for the badge enough yet. I'm sorry. He's not there yet. So let's give Tielemans a little bit more time to integrate, and let's put in our true Carrington graduate players who have already earned the reputation and the respect of a solid midfield player from our fan base because of what we've already witnessed from them. Again, Tielemans is a brilliant midfielder. He is going to help us, and there's a lot he can bring. I do not think he should be starting above Kobbie Mainoo. Sorry, not yet. You've got to beat Kobbie out. Kobbie, already from this performance, should be starting in the next match. Those are already 2 changes for next game that we can make. We can go ahead and lock in. That should be made for next match if we want to see improvement in the way we play. Mainoo, Rashford, start. Next match, have to be it. Kobbie brings a certain level of composure to our midfield, and he just understands the game so well. Not only can he receive the ball under pressure well, he didn't have those sloppy giveaways that our other midfielders were having, no names, but he didn't have any of those sloppy crap giveaways. He wasn't giving the ball away cheaply. All of his passes still forward, but composed. He was able to already dictate the play. It literally calmed Bruno down. And then we finally got to see Bruno in the game more when Kobbie Mainoo came on the pitch, because Bruno was then able to get higher up the field, get into the positions he wants. He tried to take a couple shots, whipped in some crosses. Bruno had more space because of Kobbie Mainoo's presence in the midfield. He immediately brought Bruno back down to equilibrium. And that's what we need from Bruno. And I tell you what, the combination between Bruno and Mainoo, it works. We've seen it work before. We've seen it outclass City. We've seen it bully Arsenal. We know that them in the midfield works. Why are we breaking things that aren't broken?
I know.
Put Kobbie in the midfield with Bruno Fernandes. It makes sense. It works. They understand each other. I'm sorry, but Tielemans is a little bit stepping on Bruno's toes in there. There's a couple of passes that I would have wished Bruno was on the ball instead of Tielemans in those moments. Again, I'm not trying to bag on anybody. I still think our entire squad has the potential to help us this season. I'm just saying right now, based on what we just watched in that 90 minutes of football, these are changes to make for the next match so we can immediately improve. These players, it is a long season. Everybody will help us. Dorgu will help us. Tielemans will help us. But I'm telling you right now, Kobbie Mainoo needs to be starting in the midfield. Rashford needs to be starting out on the left. Cunha, Membo need to be up there. Please bring Ahmad back. Where is Ahmad? What's happened to Ahmad? I will go and scroll through every tweet I need to figure out what's happened to Ahmad. Or I just don't know. But we need players who are going to be testing back lines and being dangerous every single time.
Yeah.
And then on the backside of that, we need a certain level of composure and balance in our midfield. I think Santos, maybe with Menu, maybe that's what Carrick is worried about, that maybe Santos and Menu will step on each other's toes. Try it. Please try it. We've tried this three, Santos, Tielemans, Bruno, and this is the second game. It hasn't worked. So now try a different combination. That's what I want to see from Carrick. It didn't work. What can I try and change to try and improve?
Facts. Yeah, valid. I mean, because I feel like what I was hearing while you were talking was that there needs to be more, I don't know, like dynamic players on the field and more like players who can not only bring creativity, but also allow for their teammates to bring their creative selves out.
Yeah.
Which I think also brings in a certain level of unpredictability.
Right.
And like when you don't have those creative players in spaces, then it's pretty predictable what's going to happen and who's going to be like where.
Exactly, 100%. And that's what we ran into a lot of. Like we just didn't have that ability to be very dynamic in the attack. We weren't moving their back line. We weren't, at times it was okay. Like at times in the first half, we had those little combination plays, but it's like we need the result, Even in the second half, there were times where we have the ball at somebody's feet in the 18, but it's like they're not really in a position to shoot. So it's like, yes, we're getting touches in the 18, but they're not really like big chances to score. And I think like that is the difference of what we have to like bring. And again, Bruno, we know, is one of the most prolific attacking players in all of Europe. Mm-hmm. So again, he needs to be allowed to do that. He needs to be partnered with people who allow him to do that. Because when you dull Bruno's sword, you dull his entire presence as on the pitch. And I think that's what we saw a lot of today, especially in the first half. Like he's struggling to get on the ball. His passes are wayward. He's not able to get into dangerous positions. Mm-hmm. We're not finding him in dangerous positions. So it's like all of those things kind of add up throughout the match as missed opportunities for us to create something dangerous. And again, I do think, yes, Tielemans created some good things for us and found some good passes. But again, some of those wayward passes, some of those losses of possession in some of those moments, they also catch back up to us, right? Like they were very good on the counter. Some of those counterattacks are how they won those set pieces. Then they scored on set pieces. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those little moments in the game are big moments, even if they might seem small at the time. The end result was big, big consequences. So again, I just think that we need a little bit more balance in our midfield. I think with Bruno, Tielemans, we're a little bit too attacking focused, and I think like the attacking prowess isn't really there with those two because I think there is a little bit of stepping on the toes. So I think we need a little bit more balance. I think we need to rely on those attacking players a little bit more to be those creatives, allow Cunha and Brian the space to run at players and take people on and then have players crashing and running into the box. In the first half as well, it was driving me up a wall. We're whipping in crosses. I'm like, Šeško's standing on the sideline. Who are we whipping in crosses to right now?
I know.
We have Cunha was playing more so as a withdrawn forward. So it's like we're whipping in crosses to the goat, to Dorgu, to Cunha. Sometimes it's not realistic. They've got giant center backs in there, right? Yeah. I'm not saying we won't score off crosses like that sometimes, but I'm just saying it's a very low percentage opportunity, and that is what I am trying to advocate for: is can we create more high percentage goal scoring opportunities? And you do that with getting those attacking players into dangerous positions. Again, Cunha 60 yards away from the goal is not the same Cunha 30 yards away from the goal, right?
Facts.
We want Cunha 30 yards away from the goal so that he can score, so that he can take people on. That's what we want. We don't want him picking the ball up in the midfield and trying to connect. Again, sometimes in the run of possession to keep the ball moving, fine. But for the most part, we want our attacking players picking up the ball in attacking positions to then attack and be dangerous.
Yes.
I mean, as soon as Brian started making runs in behind, cut onto his left foot, he's having shots. He forced a save. One shot went over. But again, he was starting to build into the match as there was more of those spaces for him to get the ball at his feet and make something happen. So yeah, I don't know. We need to, again, the possession is fine, but what is the end result of the possession?
Right.
What are we trying to do with it? That is what we have to sort out and figure out how to be more dynamic in those key moments.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Yeah.
I feel like, can you coach a game?
Huh?
Can we fly you out and...
I'd consult. Nah, I mean, I have full trust in Kieran. You know, I have trust in the coaching staff for sure, but I still think, you know, we're almost still in this like preseason vibe right now, and I think, you know, it's time to recognize that these games count now. We are in the thick of it. The season has now began, you know. We have to shake that off. Like, there needs to be a certain level of intensity that's brought to the games. Like I've said before in other videos, it's like Manchester United, we should have a chip on our shoulder when we go into matches. But that chip on the shoulder has to be one that you're willing to die for, right? You've got to go on the pitch and show them why it's there. Show them why you play for Manchester United.
Facts.
And that, I think, is what we're missing. We're going into matches thinking that teams are going to roll over because we're knocking the ball around them. Brother, they're all fit. They don't care. They can do the fitness, especially if they're in their own half. Think about that. They're not running that much if they're all in their own half. So it's like a lot of our possession we're having, it's like they are comfortable to do so. And then they're conserving their energy for those counterattacks when they're breaking out, when they do win the ball. So like those are the dangers of being a very high possession team. So again, it's good to have possession, but we have to have the dagger at the end of it. We need to be ending every possession with a shot, with a dangerous cross, with a cutback. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, beautiful every time. It doesn't have to be intricate passes every time. It's okay to be direct. Sometimes a player just need to take a touch and shoot. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Genuinely.
It's okay to go off script. And that is what I want to see more of. More of that fluidity, more of that off scriptness. You know, Rashford, brilliant in the cross-hitting and the attacking, looking for that. Now can you go and be a little bit more selfish? Cunha, can you be a little bit more selfish? Brian and Mbembo, can you be a little bit more selfish? Now can we look to be the guy that's going to score our first goal of the season? That is now what we need. Players, guys who are going to take on that responsibility. Say, I'm going to score. I'm going to get the tiebreak. I'm going to get us back into this game. I understand. I mean, I love Maguire's energy. Maguire is embodying that. He's like, F it. If no one else will, I will.
I know.
He's hitting that Goku, that Super Saiyan, like every match. It's Maguire. He's like the guy that's like, F it. If I don't, who will?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that from Maguire.
Everyone should be doing that.
Thank you. That is all I'm saying, is that everybody needs to embody that anger, that frustration that Maguire is feeling, that's leading him to take these shots on target, leading him to win these headers, leading him to be furious in the games. Like that anger that he's embodying, we need everybody to want to take on that responsibility.
Yeah,
because again, I love Maguire to death, but he's not who we want taking those shots, right? We want Cunha taking that shot.
Right, yeah. Someone who is meant to be taking that shot. Not that not everybody can take shots, but you know, the forwards.
I know, we know Maguire has a banger in him, for sure. But at the end of the day, like, we want our attacking players embodying that same energy and doing that. I mean, when Shea Lacey came on, you're seeing Lacey feel confident enough to ping crossfield passes to Rashford. Rashford's pinging crossfield passes to Lacey. It's like, this is what we want. That is moving the attack quickly because we're pinging the ball. We're skipping passes. We're being more direct. And that is good. It is okay to do that sometimes. We have to continue to be dynamic. Now, I will say, United in possession, very comfortable. When you have the ball, that is the best defending you can do.
Okay.
Majority of the game, Hull was not dangerous. But Lamens did have a couple saves,
Yeah.
right?
And there was the one that went right by the goal. That one was scary.
Right. Yeah. So it's like we weren't quite tight enough defensively. We saw that with the set pieces. I think it's pretty obvious. We were not quite tight enough defensively. Didn't get the ball cleared. Didn't have our marks tight enough. Weren't focused on winning the ball. And again, I understand that there are physical battles happening in the 18. I get it.
Yeah.
I know you got to put your hands on people. You got to grab people. I get it. Guys, you're there to win the ball. I promise you, if your eyes are on the ball and a little bit less focus on the brother you're trying to grapple with. Oh, am I tickling you? My bad. Oh, my hand is cold. My bad. Like you've got to win the ball first and foremost. The ball has to be the main objective.
Facts.
Like I understand there's physicality, there's people pushing, pulling, trying to drag you out of position so you can't win the ball. But again, we in those goals that we gave up today, I'm watching the replays. We've got guys literally not even looking where the ball is coming from. So it's it's just like if we're not seeing literally the ball coming on into these moments, how are we supposed to win the ball? It's like even if you're winning your man-to-man battle, what does that mean if the ball is in the back of our net?
I know that literally doesn't matter if you're not watching the ball come into the box.
Yeah. So again, like those things have to tighten up. The set piece coach, like this needs to be drilled. We need to figure out what we're doing. Are we zonal? Are we man marking? Are we doing a mixture of both? Who are going to be our guys? If it was up to me, everybody would be man marking except for Maguire and Heaven. Maguire and Heaven should be our designated ball winners. And then Lamens also have a slightly advanced position off his line to be ready to come and claim balls as well. That would be kind of how I would set up. Everybody man mark. Maguire, go win the ball, brother. That is what I would say on every set piece. Yes, they're going to have big center backs that naturally we would be worried about. But again, if Sheshko's on, Sheshko can mark one of them. Heaven can mark one of them. Luke Shaw, Mazrari, those are lads that can also mark up. Santos is a big guy. We can mark up bigger guys and allow Maguire to go be our hunter. And he will hunt. We know that. Maguire wants to win the ball in the air. If anything, sometimes man marking is preventing him from going and winning the ball in the air. So I say that would be, again, a little adjustment on the set pieces from me. Let Maguire go and be our hunter. He will win every ball. We know that.
Yeah.
I know it's putting a lot of pressure on Maguire, but again, if everybody else does their job in the man-to-man marking, then we can have that designated ball winner that can also handle majority of the stuff. But again, it just wasn't good enough today. So there has to be adjustments into next match. So what are those adjustments going to be? Let's see.
Yeah.
We need to be sharper on corner kicks and set pieces. Naturally, we also don't need to be giving up stupid set pieces right outside our 18, right? We know it's going to happen, but we have to try and prevent those things.
Yeah.
Especially against teams that we know are going to be focused on set pieces. I mean, it's a massive part of the game these days. So we know teams like Arsenal, City, they're going to spend a lot of time working on set pieces. So United has to also be smart in how we are preventing these from being in dangerous positions.
Yeah, true. Because, I mean, again, it's been kind of a trend, I think, with United giving up goals on set pieces. So hopefully Carrick can kind of work through those kinks and get that kind of ironed out so that it's not as big of a threat to United. Because
and why do we give up, set pieces in dangerous positions? A lot of times it's because we're out of position, right? We're late to get places, we're late to put pressure. So then we're going in trying to make big tackles because we're late to get to the guy, and then they're touching past us, and then we have to foul them. Like those are the sorts of moments as well where it's just like, if we were organized better, if our balance was better, we could have had more coverage to prevent this from happening. So it's just like a little bit of those things as well. If we get that balance right, we'll also be less exposed in those transitional moments so that we won't hopefully give up those set pieces. Again, individual battles are also immensely important, but if you can provide coverage and if certain players know they have coverage, they also should have that game intelligence to be like, all right, I don't need to commit this foul here. I just need to slow him up, and that is a good thing. Santos did a lot of that today. I thought he was, not too bad in the midfield. Santos he's a good player. I think I wouldn't drop him. I don't think a lot of the issues today stemmed from Santos's role. I think we still got a pretty solid performance from him. Won some important balls again, set pieces, everybody's responsible, so everybody takes the fault for a set piece goal. But overall, I don't think Santos was necessarily hindering our progression at all. So again, I think that could be Santos, Menu, Bruno, could be that next midfield three that we experiment with and see how it goes.
I mean, that would be, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Well, we have to see something else.
Yeah, something has to change.
Yeah,
because it can't just be the same like insanity that we've seen in the past of like, it's going to work this time. It's going to work this time. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah.
No. We got to play with different puzzle pieces until we figure out, how it's going.
Yeah.
Dang, I feel so much better after getting that initial frustration. I felt like it was just building up over 90 minutes. But yeah, I think, they're lacking intensity. They're lacking that attacking, that dagger, that sword, that final clinicality that's going to be immensely necessary. In the Premier League, look, we've made it known that we are a dominant possession-based team, which is fine, which is good. But inevitably, what that means is teams are going to sit back in a very locked-in defensive shape. We're going to see a lot of teams probably play with something that turns into a flat back five, like we saw today. A lot of like teams that are, maybe deemed as like lower half teams. But again, anybody can show up on any day and beat teams.
And we've seen that.
And we know that. And again, that's why it's so frustrating, because United should know that. We've experienced that. We've seen it before. We've felt the pain before. So again, we have enough players in the team that have been through enough of those highs and lows that we should be, coming into this with a different approach, with a little bit more intensity, with a little bit more of that. Again, we don't want to experience that feeling again. Yes. So I'm hoping next match, we're going to see more of that intensity across the board from everybody. We need to start the match with a certain level of intensity and set the tone. Now we have to set the tone. It's so important to set the tone.
I know, because
it's just a missed opportunity, honestly.
Yeah, genuinely, because I think you said it yesterday in our video, like the losses to teams like Hull City just makes it even more important to have those points against teams like Man City and Arsenal. Yeah. And that is now what we are seeing happen.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Because now, again, those points mean even more. And these are the points that come to bite you in the ass at the end of the Premier League, when you drop these points here and there. Obviously, we know everybody is going to lose. We know that no one's going to go have an undefeated season. But again, it's really important that United is able to handle these games that we should be winning, especially against newly promoted sides. Again, nothing against Hull City, but a team that's been outside of the Premier League for a decade. I feel like, yes, they have a lot to prove, but this was a good opportunity for Manchester United to remind them who the big dogs are. And again, it's just a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, again, there needs to be improvement in the intensity, in the attacking, in the way we approach the game. Also, like, the ball is a prized possession, right? When we have it, we have to take better care of it. Too many wayward passes, too much sloppiness. Like, we've got to tighten that up. And then when we don't have the ball, we've got to be hungrier to get it back. Too many times, we're allowing them to build through certain passes, and we're not even sprinting to win the ball, especially in the midfield. Like, we're not even like sprinting to get close to guys in the first half specifically. And it's just like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like too casual.
A little too casual, yeah.
And why is that the energy that we're coming into the game?
Well, I think sometimes, again, possession can make you complacent. And that's why it can be a double-edged sword. You have to have possession with that willingness, with that intent to hunt and hurt teams. Because, sometimes you can get into this rhythm of passing, and now you've moved the ball from one side to the other side 3-4 times, and everybody's kind of in this lull, and then boom, the other team wins it and counterattacks.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we saw today. Hull City was winning the ball and counterattacking really well, and then they were causing us issues almost immediately because of maybe a little bit of that lull in our own possession. So again, when we're having possession, there needs to be that intent of, okay, this is now at 10, 15, 20 passes. We need a shot now. Like, like, there's a certain level of like, all right, how many passes is redundant? You know what I mean? Like, how many times can we ship the point of attack without moving their back forward before someone tries something different? So I think like a little bit of that. Let's cut out those redundancies. Let's make something happen. There should be a limit. You know, if we get to that 20, 30 pass range and we still haven't created something on target, someone's got to take a shot. Someone's got to do a dribble. Someone's got to take a risk like that. There should be an alarm bell going off like, hey, this is putting us to sleep right now. Like even our own attack. So a little bit of that as well. I understand patience, but again, 30 passes, that's like 3 full minutes of just passing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm saying
that's
like,
not the kind of football we want to watch. Just
no,
like
not if
constant passing.
not
passing.
if we're not being dangerous with it. Not if we're not getting a shot at the end. Not if we're not getting a cross at the end. Not if we're not taking a chance. You know, like that is the thing. It has to be possession with a purpose.
Yes,
possession with a purpose. Because literally, Hull City did the famous Jose Mourinho today.
What's that?
Sat back, they parked the bus, and then they said, "Hey, you keep the ball. We'll take the 3 points." And that's what they did. We got the ball. We got the possession stat. We got the shot stat. We got the touches in the opponent shot stat. We probably got the goal XG stat. None of that means shit because we didn't put the ball in their net.
Facts.
And that is what we're saying, is that we can do all the right things and it can still not be good enough. A game like today, it probably, to be fair, should have ended 0-0 if United is tighter in our defensive prowess, right?
Yeah.
Probably end 0-0 because, again, I don't think we did quite enough on our own attacking. Maybe Brian slips that next one home.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of our shots aren't getting blocked. But again, that's what we have to expect. What team in the Prem is going to give us time to shoot? No one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to create a faster opportunity. You've got to hit that snapshot faster because, again, everybody is at full speed. This is the Prem.
Yeah.
So we've got to wake up, catch up. Prem has started. Wake up. Season started. Get going. Get the wheels turning, you know?
Yes, genuinely, because like you said, the season it's started. All the points matter at this point. So there's no like lackadaisical approach that you should be taking right now, and no casual approach that you should be coming into the game with. Everybody should be like hyped up and ready to hurt the other team, for lack of a better word.
100%.
At the end of the day, right?
100%.
Because you should want to put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, embarrass them a little bit. You know, that should be the goal. Yeah,
it should be the goal. I mean, every game we should be looking for 4 or 5 goals. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Again, with the attacking players we have, everybody should be hungry, looking for goals, looking for assists, and trying to create that. And again, like, I think that we started doing more of it in the second half, but it's got to be from the jump. It's got to be from the first whistle. We got to understand that we got to get going. Now, with everything that we've said, with all of that said, like, it's the first game of the Premier League, right? This is not alarm bells. This is not the world is ending. This is not the sky is falling down. The London Bridge is not falling. Like, we are fine, right? We know everybody in the Premier League is going to lose this season. Again, we don't want to get comfortable in a loss. We don't want to accept a loss. That's why the energy you saw before, I was getting a lot of that anger off because, again, it's not good enough. I can acknowledge that, but it is still early in the season. Mm-hmm. We know that we still have to build into the season. We know that we're not going to be firing on all cylinders yet. I mean, for God's sakes, we found out what Rashford's number was going to be today.
I know. I meant to ask you about that.
It's just like I don't understand it. So anyway, we'll get Baliba in. Hopefully, he'll be ready as well soon. Give us another midfield option, which again we can play around with and hopefully tinker with the balance and try and get that locked down. But again, it's early, first game of the Premier League. We know what has to improve. We know that there are areas to improve, and improvements will come. You know, and I think we have to trust in that and understand that what we saw is also what the manager saw and what the players felt themselves. And so they know that there has to be improvements in the game, in the way that we approach the game and the things that we're doing in the game. So just understand that, like, we're not freaking out. It's going to be all right. We're going to recover from this. We're going to bounce back. It's an immensely long season. And now the Premier League, we're going to be playing literally every week. So next week, there's already an opportunity to get back after it, secure our 3 points, secure our first goal of the season, goals hopefully of the season. And you know, that's kind of what we want to do. We want to see improvements, but we also still believe in our squad. We believe in all of our players. We think everybody has a role to play, from the first starter to the youth kids that are on the cusp. Obviously, we saw Shea Lacey get minutes today, which was brilliant. So I do think there are positives to take away from the match today, and it's always going to be a learning opportunity. Every loss is a massive every loss is a massive learning opportunity, and a chance to improve the game and improve the squad, and also improve the culture. Preseason, we kind of saw a lot of cohesion, a lot of laughs, a lot of jokiness, but we didn't really face a lot of adversity. And now our team is facing adversity. And, from my own experience, I've found that adversity actually is what brings teams closer together, facing that adversity. So, here it is. Here they're faced with that adversity. The media is going to be blabbering. They're going to be, spewing their nonsense. But look, we trust in Carrick. We trust in the players we have, in the squad we have. It just wasn't quite good enough today. We know that this team has another dial they can turn and bring more intensity and bring more energy to the game. And we know we have players who can score upwards of 20 goals in the Premier League. I mean, Bruno had 21, assists last season, breaking the Premier League record. So we know this team is capable of goals and goals and goals. And we are going to see it. It just has to be unlocked. There's just a dial they got to turn. So just continue to trust in the squad, continue to trust in Carrick. We see the vision. I get it. We're very dominant. We obviously are controlling the ball. And I don't want to, pass over the things that United did well, because there were moments where we were moving the ball well, and we did have opportunities to potentially score and create something, especially coming down that left side with Rashford in the second half. So I think, there are definitely positives to take from the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important too, just thinking about those positives.
So just build on it. Just build on it. Again, not the end of the world. It's going to be a long season. Just have faith. Just keep going. Things will turn around, and I think it's going to be all right. It's just not the start we wanted, obviously. But thankfully, there's an opportunity next week to go ahead and improve. So we don't have to wait too long to see what the improvements are. And I think we will see improvement. So with all that said, Patrick Dorgu, Tielemans, keep grinding, lads. We got this. To all the guys, Bruno, you just got to get out of your head a little bit. Keep grinding. We believe in you. We know what you're capable of. To all of the other guys, keep pushing. We believe in you. We know what you're capable of. And I think that's why it's so frustrating when we are not seeing you play up to the caliber that we know that you could be playing at. And I think that speaks kind of for a lot of players, within our group. But we know that there's another level. So I just want everybody to tap into that. And I know, again, form fluctuates. Not everybody can play brilliantly every single day. So we know that. So anyway, those were our thoughts on Manchester United's 2-0 loss to Hull City for our opener of the Premier League season. Not the result we wanted, but we will bounce back next week. In Carrick, we trust. In the squad, we trust. Heads up, keep moving forward. It's a long season, so let's just stay positive and move on to the next one.
Yes, absolutely. So if you made it this far,
thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next time.
See you on the tactical board.
Yes. Tune back in later.